Well, what's the crack? How you getting on? You're all very welcome to episode 120 of Buckshot for Saturday. I was going to say for Saturday, the 20th of July 2019. I'm kind of a day late, but we got it recorded yesterday, but I just had too many things on yesterday to get it out the fucking door to you. Got to put a bit of a spin and a bit of a clean up on these things. So, we're back on track. We're back with guests. Bunch of guests lined up over the next couple of weeks. So we're all right. We're all right, gang. Well, how are you getting on? How's your Saturday going? I'm having a lovely Saturday. Gigs, I will be in City Limits Comedy Club next Saturday night, which is the 27th, I think. I'll be there. Check it out. Go for tickets through tomohmahony.com, or you can go straight to City Limits and buy tickets that way. Whichever you want, you can go that way. Roisin Dove, I'll be there on, I don't know who I'm on with, but I'll be headlining on Tuesday night, the 30th. Is that the 30th? Yeah, I think it's the 30th. So, you can get tickets, go through tomohmahony.com, or just go straight to Roisin Dove. It's the handiest thing to do. You can just type it in, and magically it fucking appears. Thank you very much. My new mic stands have arrived. Thank you very, very much to the Patreons. I have a funny video to put up on the Patreon page. My usual style of silly shit. It's not me, but it's just a great, it's just going to put a smile on your face. It's so ridiculous. It'll be up there purely for the Patreons later on today. Thank you very much. If you feel like being a Patreon, it helps. It all helps the fucking show. I get to buy gear for the actual show. It has no other purpose bar just keeping the fucking show rolling here. So it'd be great if you could sling it a couple of dollars. Maybe the once, maybe on a monthly basis if you feel it's worth that to you. You get the video anyway on the Tuesday of me doing the Ramble Pod, and you get kind of early release of that, as well as you get ad-free versions, and you get, if you haven't listened to it, the back catalogue of the Tom and Jerry show. Not the cartoon from the fucking 60s and 70s, but a podcast myself and Jerry McBride of Waterford Whispers fame put together. We did, I think we did 18 or 19 episodes in total. That the whole back catalogue is there exclusively to Patreons. Another way to contribute to the show, of course, is the Tea Republic shop. Feel free to give that a gander. If you want some of the logos from the old podcast, and just some of the comedy logos that I've had in the past, they're all up there, and you can sling them on t-shirts, cushions, fucking stickers, whatever you want, hoodies. You can even put it on a baby grow. So, speaking of which, myself and Colin Geddes did an extra episode of the General Banter podcast during, was it Thursday? What day was it? Thursday. It was Thursday. He got it out that night. It's a good old crack. So go have a listen to that. If you don't listen to Colin Geddes' podcast, just type in General Banter. You won't be disappointed. It's a fucking class podcast. Just happens to be a mate of mine. Anyway, fantastic. For any other gigs like Caveman gigs, go to tomohmahony.com. Caveman gigs are all up on sale and are selling well, apparently. So that's great. I see posters are up all over the shop. It's great. They're putting up banners, every fucking thing. Nice lineup there on UCH. Like I was saying, it finally came on sale, but you can see why. I'm in between Dylan Moore and Tommy Tiernan, Ardlo Hanlon and Dermot and Dave. So not a bad lineup in between for October in UCH. But it's there. It's all over the country. Go to defendingthecaveman.ie or tomohmahony.com and go have a look at the fucking gigs there. If I'm close to you in a town, get a ticket. Come along. It's going to be fucking savage. I'm wearing the whole of myself here rehearsing and learning fucking lines. So it's going to be fucking good crack. Go to any of those fucking two sites for either one of those. But for the handful of stand-up, a bit of stand-up I'll be doing between now and fucking November nearly, you'll find, just go to tomohmahony.com/gigs. All the D's will be in the show notes anyway. So have an old gander through. Castbox and one or two others don't actually let you click through, but just have a gander at it. Like it's, you'll be able to physically see it, or maybe in copy and paste. iTunes and fucking Apple allow you to click through. Sound, lads, sound. So, moving on to today's guest. He's returning today's guest. He is one of the most knowledgeable people on movies I've ever met. As well as that, he has a vast range of interests from fighting. And there's a couple of good funny stories about fighting and stuff like that in it. Sets me straight on a few movies and all the rest of it. Very, very, very enjoyable fella to hang out with. He's on a bunch of TV shows now on radio as well as Spin and all the rest of it. I'll put his links in the show notes as well. I say his like nobody knows who it is. It's Andy McCarroll, everybody. Sit back and enjoy. We finally got it done. We were talking just before I hit the red button. We were talking about Cats. Not Cats, but Cats, the movie. Have you seen Lion King? Is it good? Because it got a ripping last night on
I really
Matt
liked it. I went in absolutely ready to fucking hate it. I thought the trailer looked terrible.
Looks shite.
And it has that real, like, Dead Eyes, the Uncanny Valley, the Tom Hanks and Polar Express thing. Now, the lions for the first kind of 5-10 minutes, you're a bit like, But, like, Timon and Pumbaa are brilliant. There's a couple of things in it that, you know, they kind of
Seth Rogen, isn't it?
Yeah, Seth Rogen and Billy Eichner, him, and he does Billy on the Street.
Yes,
He was in Parks and Rec as well. He's
Yes,
the one guy who always talks like this. He's fucking hilarious. But I saw the stage show last week. That's why I'm fucking sick now, because I was on a plane to London.
Oh, is that what it was?
And the stage show I didn't like. It was just, as a spectacle, it looked deadly. Like, they got the, the Circle of Life and the hum. But the performances were shit.
Were they?
They've a load of, like the kid is bouncing around. Like, there's a couple of things you need to get right in The Lion King. You need to get Circle of Life right.
Yeah.
You need to get Mufasa dying.
Yeah.
And The Return and Hakuna Matata.
Yeah.
Now, the film gets all of them right. The show didn't. It was like,
what?
When the kid, like, when Mufasa dies, the kid's bouncing around and he's doing, like, they have this pose where it's like a kung fu pose. And that's kind of like his standard. That's his, acting, playful thing.
Yeah.
So the dad's dead on the ground. He's jumping around like fucking Jackie Chan, like, and you're just, no emotion to it at all.
Okay, it didn't add up, like, yeah.
And Hakuna Matata, they started singing it. Everyone gets into it. Fantastic. Love Hakuna Matata. Start singing it. But they've changed the words of it. So everyone's getting to like the second or third line. They're like, wait, what the fuck are you doing there? And it was just this like, Hakuna, oh. And then it would start again. It was like stop, start. It was like they'd forgotten the words, and the audience was like, "No, just come on."
How much is a ticket to that? This is West End, obviously, is it?
I got the cheapest one the day of, and that was £80, which was about 95 sterling. And because I was on my own, it was a cheaper one as well. Like
£80.
Like front row was like £600.
What?
Yeah.
Is it?
And it's sold out. Like,
and they don't have Hakuna Matata.
No, they have like 2 or 3 lines of Hakuna Matata, and then they've got their own little riff on it as well. Then
I'd be bulling. I'd be absolutely bulling. Because your man was saying last night, he says, well, they did it frame by frame nearly to the cartoon. He said, well, he loved the cartoon because it had a bit of fun and campness to it. He says, this just didn't seem to have it. Like, he says, now, I mean, this is a critic is allowed to be a critic, like, or whatever, but this Cats thing is creeping the shit out of me. Like, because when you posted it this morning, I was going, what? And then, of course, James Corden is in it. Like, you're
like, how shit can this be? And then James Corden shows up. And then fucking Jason Derulo. What's Jason Derulo doing in the goddamn thing?
Yeah, Idris Elba. Come on, Idris. You don't need it.
He makes some terrible choices, though.
But I reckon he's all the signs. He's like Eric Bana, I reckon. He's all the signs of a man that acting is secondary. Yeah. He's into something else. Like Eric Bana was into rally car driving. Yeah. And it was only if he had to fucking tip away and do a film, he would. But it looks at and he'd just go. Chopper was the only thing I think he's ever fucking done that was any good. Like, but by the looks of Idris Elba, like, man, like he just doesn't seem like he gives a bollocks. Like,
I thought, like, he was doing those. They used the Heimdall in the Marvel movies, and the whole pretty much since he was cast, he's like, I don't want to do this, and you're like, that's not what you say. Like, you play the PR game.
Yeah. That
series he done on Netflix, Where to Mind the Child, was fucking terrible.
What was that?
He's a DJ. He's like, I based it kind of on my real life. He's like a DJ who like helps raise this kid. I watched like half of one episode. I was like, nope.
I know what you're talking about. This was set in the 80s. Yeah.
But still, he done that one where he went around. He lived in Thailand for like 6 months training for a Muay Thai fight, and that seemed like something he'd actually be interested in.
And he went rally car driving as well in Scandinavia. Yeah, it looked like he was into that. All right, but. Yeah, and I think that's more so, I'd say, what he's up to. He's like, look, if I have to fucking act, I'll act. Like, is there another Thor movie coming? Do you need me for that?
And he's in that fucking Hobbs and Shaw thing as well.
Man, I can't wait to see. I'm really looking forward to seeing how dreadful that's going to be. Because I think there has to be an element of, lads, we know this is dog shit. There has to be, is there?
It's just, I don't think they do. Like, I genuinely think The Rock goes in there and thinks, I'm making the greatest film ever made, and doesn't cop on that like he's wearing the same outfit from the last time. He cannot act. And
The Rock?
Fucking Jumanji trailer, where he's like, because the first Jumanji film, again, and they keep making money. Like, Jumanji 1 made $1 billion.
What?
Yeah. That's
Kevin Hart and him in it, sure say no more.
Yeah. Kevin Hart and Jack Black are good because they copped on, okay, we're avatars of teenage kids.
Yes.
Whereas The Rock didn't seem to know that.
And
then
Rock.
every 10, 15 minutes he'd go, shit, I'm supposed to be a kid. And he'll do it for 1 or 2 scenes. And then he'll just go back to being normal. Like, but because the director is like a mate of his who he's getting jobs for, he's not going to turn and go, oh, by the way, that performance was shit. Like, do you want to maybe rein it in a bit? Yeah. So he just does what he wants. It makes $1 billion. And of course, he'll feel validated then because of that.
Stephen, like, because who's that talking about that just plays the same fella in every movie? It wasn't Aidan Gillen, although he does turn into kind of a weird pirate.
Where did whoever his dialect coach was, I hope they're hanging from a closet somewhere.
But but The Rock is one of those few fellas who can actually get away with just being the same fella in everything. He was the same with the big fucking old gorilla. He was the same when he had only one leg, climbing the fucking skyscraper. He's been the same in everything.
I put up a picture. I put up 5 pictures on my site, Andy McCarroll Movies, for those listening, with pictures of The Rock in different movies wearing the same clothes. And I had a competition where we were giving away T-shirts and DVDs. Anyone who can guess what each film is from, nobody got it.
Really?
Got 63 answers.
What was
nobody
the gear? Was
got
it just like a tight black T-shirt?
Camouflage T-shirt, combats and boots.
Right.
And he's sweating profusely.
Yeah, covered in coke. Apparently he stinks of coconut.
Yeah,
coconut? Yeah, he's constantly rubbing coconut into his skin. Yeah, I don't know. Apparently
okay, I'm interested in how you heard that. Who heard that?
Who was it? Who said it to me? It wasn't Gordon Hayden. Who said it to me? Somebody said The Rock, flat out, you can smell him coming down the corridor of coconuts. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
There's probably a racist thing in that, I know, because he's Samoan descent. But if he smells like coconuts, he smells like coconuts.
That's insane.
Yeah, apparently.
It's probably why he's so shiny all the time.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I suppose, you have to wonder, has somebody said to him, look, stay in your lane. We're going to sell movies off the back of you regardless, because you look so astronomically big. Keep taking all them steroids. Keep going, because don't be worried about trying to be, because he had won in the last. I'll take it to the grave, and they actually put it in the trailer. It was him and Jason Statham, and he's about to get into a fight with him. He went, "I'm going to beat you like a Cherokee drum." Was a line from the last Fast and the Furious that they did. And they were about to have a scrap, I think, I don't know, was it in a prison?
In the prison, yeah.
That line, it's like, there's something homoerotic about it.
Yeah.
And also the worst fucking thing I've ever heard. Ever that was ever written on a fucking script before. I'm going to beat you like a Cherokee fucking drum.
But there is that whole thing with him, Vin Diesel and Statham, where they just have that, like, they're 1 second away from just wearing the face off each other. Like.
Yeah. If it all brushed out and the trousers came off, you go, yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Like, I just keep waiting for the fight to just end like that, and they just, like, next thing grab the back. You know, like Connery's Bond, where, like, he'd get into a fight, and then he was a bit rapey, like, you know, he'd be fighting pussy galore, and next thing you know, like, he fucking grabs the back of her head and starts, you know, sticking his tongue down her throat.
Yeah.
Like, that would make me interested the next one,
it would, if Statham and your man banging each other. Why not? Fuck it.
I wanted to start a GoFundMe to be the person to tell Daniel Day-Lewis that The Rock is the most successful actor of all time, and just watch him completely fucking melt down. Just somebody who takes his craft so seriously and go,
Can you imagine that?
Yeah, I spent 2 years making shoes in Italy for this film, and what did The Rock do? He praised his eyebrow a bit and changed into an even sweatier t-shirt.
He hit the gym a lot. You know what I mean? Because I was talking on another podcast yesterday about the level of steroids. Who's selling the good quality steroids in Hollywood? Because they're getting some good shit. Like, I mean, The Rock must be nearly 50 at this stage, and he's got veins sticking out on top of fucking veins. Yeah. Hugh Jackman, into his 50s, able to get ripped to death. Like, you can't do that at that fucking age.
Was it one of the guys in the pod? Was it Brendan Schaub was saying that all like the EPO stuff, the testosterone replacement? Yeah. It's like $8,000 a month. The dosage he's on. He was saying, I can tell you from just looking at how vascular he is and where his traps are, what he's on. He's like, that's $6-7 grand a month
for the Rock.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Which for a lad who's getting like 50-60 million a film, like,
is that what he's making? Would he make that?
Oh yeah, because he'd be getting producing and back end on everything. So if you notice, every film he does, it's $7 production, which is his production company.
Right.
With him and the ex-wife, he gets like script approval, he gets director approval. He gets his back end on that as well. Like, you know, things like Jumanji wouldn't do well without him in it. Like, he's just like a little industry unto himself. Like,
that's what I was thinking. Like, he's like a little industry, and he's like Jackie Chan back in the day. He's like his own fucking industry.
And what annoys me is he can be good. Like, when he started off, was Walking Tall, and Welcome to the Jungle, and even like was it Be Cool and Southland Tales, your man who directed Donnie Darko. Not a great film. He was very good in it. Like if he actually challenged himself,
Walking Tall the one with he'd a lump of wood in the back of the pickup
based
truck.
on the true story, the sheriff.
Going around clattering dads with
him and Johnny Knoxville.
Yes, yeah.
Which sounds terrible.
I actually really like that movie. Yeah, I that sticks in the head as one that was actually a really good fucking movie.
Yeah. So it was Scott Glenn played him in the original.
Then I suppose it gets to a point like people go, how do you do everything you do, Rock? You know, you're gymming and you're got this on to go. It's because he's only half arsing at you could be guaranteed they are not going for a retake.
No,
if he half gets it, was that grand? That's done. We're moving on. And the director's like, I suppose we're moving on. Are we to the next scene? Yeah,
that's why I like Cena. John Cena is actually doing different stuff. Like, he's he was brilliant in that Transformers film, the Bumblebee.
I haven't seen Bumblebee.
Oh, it's really good.
I was so disappointed with the last Transformers.
It's Michael Bay is not in it or involved in any way. It's your man Travis Knight. He'd done a film called Cuba and the Two Strings. This animated film is fantastic. But it's like set in the 80s. The kids are brilliant in it. John Cena just knows exactly the kind of film he's in. Like, you know, like the baddies are trying to like help the army, and John Cena's turning around going, well, they're called the fucking Decepticons. Does nobody think this is a bit strange? Really? Like they're trying to help us out. It's really, really good. It was a lot better than it, and of course, because it didn't have explosions every 30 seconds, it didn't do as well as the other ones.
Tell me this, is there anybody, because I just saw, I don't know, did you share it this morning as well? This is very new. Did you share about Jay and Silent Bob this morning?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that actually happening?
Look, the trailer went out today.
Oh, was it? Because I just saw a still of it. I didn't actually click through.
It's fucking terrible.
Of course it's going to be fucking terrible. But
I love him.
Yeah, fucking love the two of them. That was bomb. He was like just such a dickhead.
It was like as soon as he done the podcast and he started doing films off the back of that, like things like Tusk and Yoga Hosers when he's putting his kids.
What the fuck was Tusk?
Terrible.
To anybody who is, so many people have never heard of Tusk. Do you want to? Because you're the movie guy. Do you want to explain?
Basically,
Tusk?
This whole thing became, there was like a story on the podcast. He does this podcast with a friend of his, and they read Ralph Garman,
right?
And they read like weird news items, and one of them was it was like the Craigslist ad for somebody to live rent free in this house. The only condition was for 2 hours a day you had to wear a walrus outfit and pretend you were a walrus for the owner. Turned out the ad was like a fake ad, but that kind of put the idea. The two of them were stoned out of their face, and were like kind of like making a film in their head of what that person would be like. So of course, they go out and make a film about, you know, this weird guy who, you know, tries to dress somebody up in a skin suit, you know, to look like a walrus.
Yeah,
it's every bit as fucking stupid as it sounds, and you're just looking going like this isn't the same guy who done Dogma. This isn't the same guy who done Clerks or Mallrats. Like, and then he, you know, got obsessed with putting his daughter in films. He was in like, was it Yoga Hosers? And Johnny Depp was in it as well, and it's just fucking horrendous. And then in the middle of all that, he does Red State, which is kind of like what's that family? Fred Phelps family, the most hated family in America.
Yes, yeah.
It's kind of based on that, where it's this kind of like religious, you know, cult nut.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic.
That was a great film.
And then after the back of that, he goes, that was just my film to see if, you know, if I could, you know, if I really tried, could I be a good filmmaker? And now I'm going to go back and do all the Jay and Bob films because I like doing them. It's like, don't expect me to pay money to see you not try just to have a bit of crack with your mates.
But I think we think too much about it, because a lot of time I don't think these fellas, they don't give that much of a fuck on every movie. And because the machine is up and running for them, i.e. their name is big enough or whatever, just like The Rock, I reckon there's days where you're like, listen, can we bang this out before the end of the week? Because I'm going on holidays next week. And, you know, because how many films have you watched that are just wrapped up in the end in the last 10 minutes? You're like, lads, what? You were going so well, and it went off the fucking rails.
You didn't see the Gwyneth Paltrow. She's on that episode of Chef with Jon Favreau. And he's talking about being on the set of Spider-Man with her. And she's like, I wasn't in Spider-Man. And he's like, you were. I was in the scene with you. And she's like, I don't remember that. And I'm like, you were in one of the biggest fucking films of all time. I was like, I don't even remember. It was like 3 years ago. And
that's
then
hilarious.
That clip kind of went viral. And then Sebastian Stan, he plays the Winter Soldier, Bucky in the Avengers movie.
Yeah.
He posted a photo with him, Gwyneth Paltrow, and 2 other people. He's like, here's me being introduced to Gwyneth Paltrow for the 3rd time. She said it was nice to meet me. We've been in 4 films together.
Oh my God.
So she's just on fucking vegan autopilot. Like,
fuck, she doesn't give a shit. And I suppose that's the thing too, because I suppose when we're watching from the outside in, you're going, well, this is the biggest movie ever. But like, if you're just quite literally just getting picked up in the morning,
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
just a job to you.
It's just a fucking job. Maybe your whole thing is being at home with the dogs or something. You know, you're like, whatever. What do you need me to say? Okay. And it's really not that hard to learn a couple of fucking lines. Like, she essentially plays the same kind of watery old character in everything she's in. You know, she's a watery... You know,
once she got her Oscar, that kind of validated her, and she's like,
how did she... Yeah, what did she get an Oscar for?
Shakespeare in Love, wasn't it?
Oh, right. Did she?
I think it was Shakespeare in Love, wasn't it?
I suppose that's the one, like Shakespeare in Love,
when was the last fucking time you watched that?
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? But anything that's got Shakespeare in it is always going to get a good fucking hat tip from the old Oscars, like, isn't it? You know, you'll be all right. Like.
If you're making a film about the film industry or about the entertainment industry, you're usually okay for an Oscar. Then you see things like La La Land. Although I fucking love La La Land. But anything like that, I thought it was brilliant. Oh, I know everybody hates it.
Jesus, that's so.
It was so weird. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I had the soundtrack on repeat for months after.
You?
I don't know what happened. I just I wish I was the person for the 10 minutes after I left the cinema. I was like, I wish I was that person forever. Just full of wide-eyed wonder. It's like, you know what? The world isn't actually that shit.
I suppose you can. What did you make of The Greatest Showman?
Again, really, really liked it.
Yeah, I watched it the first time, not for me at all. No. I watched it the second time, went, oh, this is actually a good movie. And well, I mean, good, but the standard of just, I got to take your hat off, to both Jackman and fucking Zac Efron,
But that's
their standard is high.
That's Jackman's background. Jackman is a song and dance man. He came from the theater, and Efron, for what you say, these fucking Disney fuckers. They're talented little bastards, you can't deny how good he is.
There's no mistaking, the dedication that fucker has to anything he does. To get into the nick he gets into, you probably on the roids as well, but at the same time, you still got to work out. He can sing, he can dance, ridiculously good looking fucker. And not a bad actor either,
he has that self. He was very good in that Ted Bundy film. Wasn't a great film, but he was very good in it. I
didn't see that.
Was it the stupidest name of all time? Extremely wicked, vile, and incredibly close. Or something. I'm sure I butchered that name. But he has that self-awareness. He was in that Neighbours film with Seth Rogen. And he was pitching for it. He read the script he wanted to be in, and Seth Rogen's like, Zac Efron, the High School Musical, the fuck off. So eventually he ended up meeting him, and Zac Efron was like, look, I know you're going to think I'm a dickhead. You're not going to like me, but I really like this, and I like this film, I like this. And I'm a big fan. Seth Rogen's like, shit, now I look like an asshole. And he's like, he does know. He's very aware of his own perception and stuff, and he goes out of his way to try. That's
cool. That's actually cooler than what I thought. Yeah, because that is cool. If you go, look, I know. I know
the preconception is I'm a Disney dickhead.
I'm a Disney dickhead. Yeah. But look, I'm actually sound. You know what I mean? That's it. Yeah, that's a nice thing. Is there anything? Do you know? Did you ever see? Is there anything? Because I'm so disappointed that Jane Silent Bob is going to be muck. But is there? Because nothing gives me more joy than watching a really good silly movie. I loved. It's almost like it's just good for fucking hangover days. Do you remember Tucker and Dale?
Versus Evil. Yes,
I love that movie. That puts me in such good form. But that's a really, really, really good movie.
But that's you're saying that's a very clever film.
That's what I mean. It's really clever. It's playing in one direction. It's playing in two directions all the time. The whole way through it.
You can watch that and not know anything going in, or you could watch it like myself, who would have seen all the horror films. It's kind of taking the piss off and see the kind of the opposite ways it's going. The college kids are the evil fuckers, and the hillbillies are actually well educated, really nice people. Films like that, they can work. There is a. There's a market, there is an audience for things like that. But I think just, we're talking about the Transformers film, just smash, bang, wallop, there's nothing to it, or the Rocks films. That annoys me that they just, look, we get this out, people will see Transformers on a marquee. It's all right, I know that's familiar, I'll go in and see that.
Yeah.
Whereas something like Tucker and Dale versus Evil, which is fucking gas. Me, you, and maybe 5 other people have seen it.
It's a fucking amazing. If anybody listen, if you haven't seen it, just go find it. You won't be disappointed. It's a real Sunday fucking hangover movie. It's just so funny. Is there anything do you know if there's anything like that coming? Because there's a real shortage of quality. Do you remember when Scary Movie was fresh?
Yeah.
Your Man with the Tiny Hand. The original thinking in that, I think that was number 2. I remember seeing that in the movie in America, in the movies in America, and my chest almost gave in at that. The whole sequence with the tiny hand and everything. I was like, this is so original. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But again, that's good writing. Like, I'll give you a laugh. The guy who wrote that wrote Chernobyl, the TV show.
Really? Yeah. Wow.
So there is, like, it's weird that you picked up on that one. Like, that's the one that stood out. Was there 4 or 5 of those films? And that's the one that
the writing
people
was
remember.
So good, like
you kind of get these kind of, the rose that grew to the concrete thing. But I think there is that, preconception that people want to see something they've already seen. Like, we were talking on the show on We Love Movies on Spin, Sundays at 12, about in the last 20 years, from like 2019 to 1999, 18 of the top grossing films of the year were either based on a comic book or were a sequel. And from 99 to 79, 18 of them were original films.
Really? Wow.
The only 2 that wasn't was Empire Strikes Back and Terminator 2. Everything else was, Forrest Gump.
But Terminator 2 was a standalone, like, what I mean, versus Terminator 1. It was a standalone, like, wasn't it?
And again, that wasn't like, they didn't make Terminator 1 to make Terminator 2 the way they do with the Marvel films. Like, we need to get the franchise, we need to get the, the tie-in, the TV show, the comic. They didn't have that. And now it's just like people want to see things that are familiar. And I think that's why the quality of stuff is going down. Like, when was the last time you saw a film and came out and go, holy shit, everyone has to go and see this? Like, it's true. Everything is like grand. Like, even flicking through the reviews there during the week, like the amount of like 2 and 3 out of 5 I'm giving, like, yeah, it's grand. I'll never watch it again.
That's so disappointing. And the last handful of times I've gone to the movies, have you seen Aladdin?
Yeah.
No, I didn't go to herself. Took her mother to see Aladdin because they're Disney crazy. Like, but they've been continuously disappointed with Disney movies and all the rest of late. Like, but so she said we're going to see Aladdin. We're going. The 10 o'clock in the morning show. It's only them in the cinema by themselves. They were singing along. They said it was exactly what they hoped for. You know what I mean? It was it as good? Did you find it as good?
No, not as good as the cartoon. It was watchable, but I have no desire to watch it again. The other one, Dumbo, I actually really liked.
Did you?
Because they had, like, Dumbo...
It's a bit darker than people were expecting.
That's what it was, yeah.
Like, yeah.
And I think I did interview with Colin Farrell just before I walked in, so I was a bit kind of transfixed by him. He Me Too'd me on the way in.
Did he drop the hand or anything? Or?
We done the interview.
This is exclusive now. So Colin Farrell.
So we done an interview with him just on the red carpet thing in the lighthouse.
Yeah.
I have to say, one of the soundest blokes you're ever going to meet. He's just one of those, you're just, why are me and you not mates? Like, I know he doesn't drink. He's like, we offering all jar.
Class here,
like, you ask him for stuff, and he's like, you ask him questions, and he actually genuinely, like, I asked him, he was up for Batman before.
Oh, right, I thought you were like, if you change of a fiver.
Yeah,
something like that.
Like that, he'd probably do that as well. But like, he has this like charity organisation. You can see him like he's genuinely helping the people that are around. Like, he's making sure they get into pictures with, and you could hear him leaning there. He's like, look, if you don't mean the picture, it's no problem. Like, this is for you. This is not for me. This isn't like a PR stunt.
That's a very self-aware man, and very aware of his surroundings too. Because a lot of people like that wouldn't be like.
No, a lot of people are just like, here, get the picture with the girl in the wheelchair, get the sick kid, so I can look well. Like, he's genuinely just seems like, I'm interested in what you have to say.
Wow.
So we're at the end of it, and I said, can I get a picture? Because we want a picture to put up with the interview. And he's like, yeah, no problem. And I was standing beside, I was like, I've never felt as ugly in my life standing next to you. And he stops and kind of looks at us, you have about 6 inches on me. And I went, sure, I think you have it where it counts. And he started breaking his bollocks laughing, and he fucking leathered me on the hole. And I was like, that was a good one.
Wow.
And as he walked off, I was like, shit, he thinks I means the sex tape, don't he? And I was like... As he walked, I was like, "Oh, bollocks!"
He's balling sex tape.
There goes my chance of being friends with him.
Was he? What was his name? What was his baddie superhero name? Crosshairs or something?
Bullseye.
Bullseye.
Yeah.
He was doing Bullseye at the time. Who was he writing in that sex tape? So remember, there was pictures on the Sunday World.
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
The only thing I remember from that is like and this is taking a bit of a turn. He's going down on the curl and he leans up and just goes, "It's breakfast, lunch, and dinner there, love. I'm not even joking."
So fucking Dublin. Been around with Cottle. Jesus.
Just like Mother Darcy used to make.
Mother Darcy.
Just bang bang wouldn't be long with this.
There was an old woman and she lived in the...
I think that's his appeal, that he feels like someone who's like snuck into Hollywood, and all of a sudden he's this like A-lister, but he's still like, I know he puts on like he's from Castleknock, but he has like the North Dublin accent.
Like for the first couple of years I was not buying it. I was like, oh, fuck off. Like, you know what I mean? As he's flicking his hair and he's wearing like, pinky rings.
Yeah.
And he's got way too cool at fucking scarves and stuff like that. You're like, nobody has what? No, you know you're cool as fuck. Like you know you're cool as fuck. Come on. But it does seem like he's come around the other side. Which, again, would any of us be any different if you looked like that? Joel Schumacher walked you into a fucking movie and bigged you up to everybody, like, and all of a sudden you're fucking rocking it. You're in Total Recall. You're the new Arnie, essentially, in Total Recall.
That's like, here, or Al Pacino's called you the best actor of your generation. Fucking Britney Spears is giving you her phone number.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I'd be dead.
There's no way I would have made it into the teens of the 2000s. Not a fucking hope. So to come out the other fucking end of it. And they did. Were you interviewing him in the radio then as well? You were saying after the red carpet one.
Just that was on the red carpet thing. Where I was interviewing him on
right,
about that. So I was asking him about like the Batman film he was supposed to have done. And usually when you're asking people about something like that, they have their their standard answer. Here's there was this. It just didn't. And he was genuinely looking. Goes, I met with the director about this. And Jude Law was doing. Yeah, me and Jude Law because Jude Law's playing Superman. And I'm looking at him going, that's kind of not common. Like anytime that's brought up, like everyone kind of denies that this was going to happen, but he's just like, I don't give a fuck. It was 20 years ago. Like, he's like, Jude Law was going to be Superman. I met with Wolfgang Peterson. He was doing something else, and then it just never happened. He goes, Christian Bale ended up doing it, and they went off in a different direction. Like, I was like,
wow.
But he has like even that like when talking about Daredevil and stuff, he's like, it's shite. Like,
that's very like that is cool when you can hear a fella because it's letting you in, isn't it? It's like, look at lads, it's grand, but it's when people kind of make a mystical fucking thing about it, like it's, come on.
It's people who don't, I know we talked the last time, but like people like Mark Wahlberg who just, like, I know this isn't the part of the job you want. Like, you want to be on set or you want to be doing your 4 a.m. workouts. You don't want to be stuck in front of Andy McCarroll asking you fucking questions about, like, Mickey Ward. But just have some form of engagement. Like, like, you've lads like I'm dropping names left and right here. The guys like the Russo brothers who directed Avengers.
Yeah.
And, like, these are guys who've been told going in, look, you need to make the biggest film that has ever been in the history of cinema. Go. And if you do any less than that, it's considered shit. And they're the most down-to-earth, soundest blokes, and they're yapping away to you. Like, it's just like a normal comedy. Like, there's no airs or graces about them. Like, and then you've got, like, a fucking twat like him who's just...
Like Wahlberg.
Yeah. Who's just, like, staring up at the sky, won't make eye contact with you, won't answer your questions. He's just grunting his answers left and right. Like, it's just... Play the fucking game. Like,
yeah. Well, it's all part and parcel of it. Like, you put... Even if it is a... I think it was Gordon was saying that when he was with Tom Cruise or Will Smith, like, it was quite literally nothing until the green light go, or the red light, and then they're on. But at least they're on. Yeah, there's something to work with. Like, you know what I mean?
Like, there's nothing worse than coming out with something like that and going, I got nothing talking to them. Like, they won't answer. I know there's like things like the superhero films, they can't go in. Like, and I never ask, oh, by the way, what happens at the end of the film? Like, you ask questions, Kate. Like, I do 8 to 12 hours of research, depending on who I'm speaking to make sure I'm asking them something they haven't been asked a million times, or something that they're going to bite on. Yeah. And if you get something like that, it's like, no, I'm not answering. Like, you come out and you're just like, what was the fucking point of that? Like,
he's all the signs of being an ignorant fucking bollocks. Like, I remember he was out. Do you remember he was drunk on the Graham Norton show? Yeah. He was trying to have a cut off Dara O'Brien. Yeah. And I had to laugh. Like, have you ever stood beside Dara O'Brien? I mean, fighting or no fighting, if that man caught a hold of fucking... like, if he caught a hold of Mark Wahlberg, he'd fucking throw a wall. Like, but it was kind of half... I think he was annoyed that O'Brien was taking over the show. Like, you know what I mean? Because he didn't realise, this guy's a really sharp comedian. Yeah. Oh, and his accent is way more attractive than my one to the audience that were talking. Oh, right. And it was just the drunkness. He couldn't help himself.
No, like, I was watching that. I remember there was a thing, Simon Amstel, when he was hosting Nevermind the Buzzcocks.
Oh, yeah.
And your man, Donny Tourette, kept slagging Bill Bailey. And Bill Bailey was going back. And Simon Amstel goes, look, I'm just going to stop the show here. Donny, Bill is a professional comedian. You're not going to fucking win this. Yeah. He is better at this in every facet than you are. So stop. And he's like, okay. He was like a scalded child then for the rest of the show.
I love that. That's people do tend to get surprised that, how sharp, like a lot of the American, I suppose, hosts of TV shows and stuff like that. How come they're so sharp and on it? No, it's because they all came from a stand-up background, and you have to be, barring your man Corden. But like, can anybody actually like that fucker? Like,
I just think that
is there any likability in him? Like,
I think just stateside that's their opinion of what a British person is. Like, that's why I think Piers Morgan done so well over there.
Of course,
they're just like, here's this like textbook. Here's the chubby British guy with with fucking bad teeth. He's doing carpool karaoke, and I fucking hate that format. Or if it's just like, we need to go viral. Like no one actually says anything of any substance on any of the interviews.
Yeah.
Like even like Letterman's show was like that for years, and then you see him doing like the Netflix show he has now.
With the beard, he looks
You're like, holy shit, he's actually a really good interviewer. Like he's done like these like an hour-long interview with like Clooney or Obama and things like that. It's like, why aren't we showing that on the TV instead of like Paul McCartney ruining his fucking legacy sitting in the car singing Beatles songs with James Corden?
I saw somebody put up like the 5-minute clip. It wasn't the full thing. It was the 5-minute clip of your one, what's her name, Celine Dion. And normally there's a bit of chat in the carpool karaoke thing. There's a bit of chat in between. Your one, I don't know, was she fuck this situation kind of an attitude, Celine Dion, or was she is she stone mad?
Yeah. But
she wouldn't talk with him at all, really. He would just start talking. She'd just start singing the street around her, like, there are street lights. And I was like, so could we sing it? And as soon as she put on a song, she'd sing it. But I think she was in that car purely because her management said, or whoever she's working for, the Bellagio or somebody, whoever she's residency at, went, would you do 15 minutes with this fat fucker in the car? Because ticket sales are fucking waning. Yeah. Do you know? And she just did no interview at all with him. It was just, now she might be a bad bitch. Yeah. Maybe she doesn't speak. She just sings everything. I don't know. But it struck me as somebody, all right, you couldn't give one fuck about what's going on here at all. Like,
it's people like that, like, that like next level fame, and like Mariah Carey.
Yeah,
like I'd love to spend an hour with Mariah Carey just to see how fucking insane her life is. Because like, how old was she? Was like 20 or something when she kind of broke into the scene. So she's never had a normal life, and she's just I've made this like mental side of me.
That's essentially what Justin Bieber is going to be. He's going to be Mariah Carey in a couple of years, like, because he's never heard the word no. He's never had hard time, it's never been rough, like, so just I'd imagine everything that's coming out of their mind is just, I'm awesome. I'm fucking awesome. So I remember reading a great story about Justin Bieber one time, and it was about the LaFerrari came out a couple of years ago, 1,000 horsepower hybrid. Only way you could even qualify to be invited to buy one. Now you can only be invited to buy a LaFerrari. And the only way, you must have at least owned 5 brand new Ferraris from new. And then you may need not still, like, like if somebody's owned 20 Ferraris, they're ahead of you. And Justin Bieber went, I want a LaFerrari. And Ferrari were able to go, no, you've only owned 2. And it was the fact, it was brilliant marketing by Ferrari, because of course every fucking newspaper in the world had it, that they would not allow him to buy one. Yeah. They basically, you couldn't even sell him one if you bought one, and you couldn't sell it to him.
I can't feel sorry for him because he already has 2 Ferraris. I know. Like it's sad that that's the level you're getting. Well, he didn't get the Ferrari he wanted.
Yeah, but I just thought it was fucking brilliant that a car manufacturer could turn around to Justin Bieber, who's probably never heard no for anything ever, to just go, nah, sorry, Justin.
I was really hoping Tom Cruise would answer him when he said he wanted to fight in the octagon.
Cruise would pull the head off him.
Fucking kill him.
He would, though. I reckon he would. Because you imagine somebody like Cruise, he'd properly train for it too. Like,
that's like, he has that like mad gene. Whereas like if Tom Cruise was like, okay, you're fighting Justin Bieber, he'd be like, okay, I'm going to fucking train up in the hills of Thailand for the next 6 months and lock myself away, and I will become an ultimate fighting machine. Like, whereas Bieber thinks because he hits the pads with Floyd Mayweather from Instagram for 60 seconds, like he's the next coming of Christ.
Can you imagine him mauling somebody? Because I mean, that man Bieber doesn't possess anything at all.
No.
In the, like,
it's glamour muscles.
He's never had. He doesn't even have proper, glamour muscles. He's he's never fought, but he's no physical attributes whatsoever, because all he's ever had to do was just sing into a microphone. Imagine the mauling that would be, because I reckon, like, Cruise is a mad fuck. Didn't he break his arm jumping on?
Yeah, broke his ankle jumping across.
His ankle, and finished out the scene.
Yeah, finished the same percent. Like, literally dragged himself out of frame, like, to finish the shot. Like,
it's fucking rank when they showed it on that thing, but they left it all in because it was good quality stuff. Like
he's one of the few people I always watch the kind of the behind the scenes stuff, because he's just like, even at Mission Impossible 2 when they're doing the rock climbing.
Oh yeah.
They're like, they couldn't get insurance for him to do it. They said they have to do a stuntman. He's like, no, I'll just do it. I'll sign a waiver. And you see John Woo, the director, is like leaning with his head in his hands. He's like, I'm going to kill Tom Cruise. And he's not even looking at what's going on. And they're like, by the end of the scene, he's like, okay, he's back up. He's like, oh, thank God. Like, and you do have that thing at the start of every Tom Cruise film. It's like the first 10 minutes, like, you believe in aliens. You believe in volcanoes. You're a fucking Leola. You jump on couches. And then you like throw himself in front of a car and bounce off a bridge. Like, oh, no, fucking not fair enough. Now you're grand, I'm entertained.
Yeah. And you bestowed again today the beautiful... It's mad your phone knows that you're meeting with somebody or something. Like, every fucking post of the last 2 days, like, of yours has been coming up my timeline. Like, but I thought it was bullshit. Top Gun. Immediate fucking prepubescent boner time. Like, I fucking got so excited when you put that up this morning. It's actually happening, isn't it?
Yeah, they've got the trailer up there, up shooting it now. It's the guy directing it is the guy who directed him in Oblivion, which is a terrible film. He done Tron Legacy as well.
Oh.
But the guy who he does all the Mission Impossible movies with, Christopher McQuarrie, he wrote the Usual Suspects as well.
All right.
He brought him on. He's like, right, he's like his De
gonna
Niro, Scorsese kind of relationship.
Right,
Here, fix this. That's why the film was delayed for a couple of months while he kind of worked on the script. But like, they've got Val Kilmer back, they've John Hamm, Ed Harris looks the absolute business in that. Like,
Ed Harris always looks the business. Like, he never not looks the business. Like,
what was I watching the Rock, where he's the core.
Oh my god!
And one thing I noticed, I don't know if you noticed, I posted it on the page. It was like another one of those Michael Bay action films.
You're gonna go home and fuck the prom queen.
Paula was the prom queen. But like Ed Harris, when he's going to his wife's grave before he goes on, to the mission to steal the warheads, the grave actually has his wife's name, and then underneath just says his wife. So they've clearly said to the prop master, like, just put it like, this is the guy's wife, it's his wife. Just put something on it that is like, and then they went, oh look, it's lunch in an hour. Just stick his wife on the fucking headstone. And I was like, I've watched this film like 50 times. How have I not noticed that?
Well spotted.
But yeah, Top Gun, it just looks deadly. Like Val Kilmer back in it.
I'm so excited about Val Kilmer. He's got the weight down and everything. He looks. Kilmer's been waiting for this moment, because he has been on the pies and the beer, and his head has gotten a bit big. Because that starts to happen. I think that's from roid abuse.
Yeah,
I think lads overusing the roids. Like, look at Stallone's head.
Jesus, yeah.
It's a fucking concrete block. Is there another Rambo coming out? Or am I imagining it?
It looks like a fucked up Home Alone. It's fantastic.
Brilliant.
I love Stallone. Like, I thought those Rocky films, those Creed films are unbelievable. And he just seems like a really... he just seems like a really likeable bloke. Like, he doesn't have that cunt thing that Bruce Willis has. Like, Stallone actually seems like he'd sit down and have a yap with you.
I think there's for a lot of what Stallone has done, he's got his tongue in his cheek. Like, he really does. He's like...
That's why he talks like that.
Yeah. Well, he's like... I fucking get it.
Yeah.
I know. I'm a fucking meathead and I sound like this. Like, his brother's hilarious how he takes the piss out of him. He does a great impression of him as well. Like, but the brother has him to thank for everything, really. Like,
and the ma as well was on. Was she on Celebrity Big Brother as well?
The ma's
the fucking psychic.
She's in some condition. Like, God bless her.
Oh, she's held together with like Scotch tape and fucking Jack Daniels.
He actually I follow him on Instagram. He puts up videos the whole time out the back of the house, basically just throwing a football around he hangs around with the daughters and the wife the whole time, like. And he did, the two girls are in the back. They were having a sing song or whatever to whatever was on the radio, and the wife. I tell you, you can tell the people who have big money with the plastic surgery. Who she had, the mother. You could tell she'd plenty of work done, like, of course. But fucking hell, it was good. It was good. Like, I'd say Stallone's mother, if she could go back, because they were using polyfiller and fiberglass to put her face together, like. But whatever they did for Stallone's wife, it's good. It's good stuff. Like, you can obviously tell she's not a 21-year-old, but whoever did her face did a good job on it.
I read it somewhere. He gets something like, was it $8 million a year from Rocky and Rambo, the original film, still a year, like.
Jesus.
Because they're shown on TV and because, the licenses for rescreenings and DVD and Blu-ray reissues now.
Imagine that, not doing a tap, and just that money is rolling in the door. Like.
Just getting a check, like, there's a check for £8 million. What's this for? Oh, yeah, Jesus, yeah, remember that.
Honey, there's a check here for $8 million. Have you any idea? When, you know what I mean? When that is just a natural thing rolling in the door, like.
Like, I got $157 back in a check from Leia Healthcare, and it was like the biggest thing that's happened this house in years. It's like, you got money back.
The excitement of finding a 20 behind a coffee card that was in my wallet that I didn't know was there this morning. Got a fucking haircut with it. Delighted.
And you look fantastic.
Thank you very much. Treated myself. Asian lady cut my hair over in fucking Radfarnham. She wore a mask. She wore a surgical mask while cutting my hair.
I thought you were going to say she overcharged you.
She forgets a surgical mask.
You are from the country, so you wouldn't.
Yeah, I suppose, right enough, she got the smell of slurry off me. All right, fair enough. I get it. So is there any movies that, other than Top Gun, that you're really excited for at the minute?
the two for me that I'm dying for, obviously Joker, because of the stupid fucking Joker Heath Ledger tattoo. I think that's going to be something really fucking spectacular. Joaquin Phoenix. I like that they're not tying it into anything else. Like, he was cast as
like him, though.
Doctor Strange, and he said, I'm not doing 10 fucking Doctor Strange films. And the reason he done this was, like, you know, you've Scorsese, who was involved initially as a producer on it.
Really?
Yeah. De Niro's in it as well. He's kind of riffing on the King of Comedy character with that. And it's that real, like, gritty, horrible 80s New York. So
it's smelly looking, all right, doesn't it? Like, it looks dirty, like.
I was in New York 3 weeks ago, and I took 2 trains and walked 40 minutes to go and see the steps from the trailer. I'm obsessed with that character. Like, when I saw that trailer, I was like, that's exactly what I want. I want this, like,
it's going to be grimy,
mental fucking take on it.
What was the movie he was going in? He was going around with a ball pen hammer and he was fucking smashing heads in. What was that about?
You were never really here.
Yes.
He was breaking up the paedophile ring.
Yeah.
That was a fantastic film.
It was a great movie. And he hardly said 2 words through the whole thing, just went around busting heads with a hammer. He
just grunted, and then he sang, like, what was this? That was some song he killed one of the lads, and it's on the radio. What's it? Was not Blue Bayou.
It was a great movie. I enjoyed that no end, but I do like him, though. But to go from, apparently, like, he's up there with Day-Lewis, like, as far as how getting into a character, like, there was sheer depression after doing the Cash movie. Yeah. Because he was no longer a Cash.
Yeah, they were doing, like, your man Brian Callen was talking about that. He'd done a couple of days on the set of The Joker, and you're like, oh, what's Joaquin Phoenix? Like, don't know, never met him. He's like, he was just in character the whole time. He said he wasn't. Really? But he said he wasn't doing it like, you know, I'm a lunatic, I'm in character. You know, like Jared Leto, if you hear the stories for him. Like, Jared Leto was like, I sat around thinking, what would the Joker do? So I started sending used condoms and dead rats. I was like, that's not you in character. That's you trying to think of weird stuff to do. Whereas Joaquin Phoenix was like, no, I'm really introverted. I'm into this. I don't want someone coming over talking to me about, you know, the Red Sox in the middle of this, because that's going to take out the frame of mind I'm in. Like, but he's someone who's kind of, since Gladiator was what, 20 years ago?
Jesus, I know. 20 fucking years ago.
And he wasted 2 years in that fucking documentary that nobody believed was real.
What documentary?
He done one called was it I'm Still Here with Casey Affleck, where he basically done like a Borat thing, where he pretended he'd gone mad, like he grew out with the mad beard.
Oh, yeah.
He started doing poetry, and he went on Letterman and acting like a lunatic. But Letterman twigged it straight away what he was doing, and Letterman just made a fucking show of him. And then at the end of the interview, he's like, Joaquin Phoenix, sorry you couldn't be with us tonight. And I was like, that just undercut everything. Like, he looked like an absolute... And he's like, I've still got 6 months of shooting this to do. Like,
oh, shit.
But, like, Casey Affleck's following him around with a camera. Everyone knows Casey Affleck's the director.
He gives me a dose. I don't know what it is. He just gives me a dose just looking at him. Like,
yeah, he's been accused of quite a few things that would justify that.
Has he?
Excuse me, yeah, he was like a lock for Manchester by the Sea for the Oscar, and then the middle of all the Me Too stuff, a lot of stuff came out, a lot of girls saying about him. Yeah, he was harassing the shit out of them, like,
fuck.
So that's why he didn't win.
That was
the
some
Oscar
fucking misery, though. That fucking Manchester by the Sea thing.
Oh, that was brilliant.
Did you? I didn't get through it, to be honest. I did not. I wasn't in the right mind frame for it either, but I didn't get through it. It was like, oh yeah, no, I'm grand.
The last scene with the two of them is like even if it's just YouTube, just the last scene with Casey Affleck and Michelle Williams, where it's like, you find out why they broke up and what happened, and they run into each other.
Okay.
And it's the most, like, usually if you have that scene in a film, it's like, I'll say to you what I felt. I'll stop. You tell me how you felt. That. But the two of them are just like on the verge of tears the whole time. They're talking over each other, and then they're so ingrained in what happened, they can't actually get the words out. And then eventually he's just like, I can't do this, and just runs off.
Yeah.
And it just felt like, I shouldn't be watching this as two people actually having a real moment. Like, it was absolutely stunning to watch. Like, he did objectively deserve the Oscar for that. But when you hear all the other shit that was going on, you're like, yeah, you can't really have him on stage, like, especially with, like, everyone wearing, like, the Me Too badges and all of a sudden the lad who's accused of, like, sexually assaulting women getting given the biggest prize in the game.
Who have you interviewed since? Because obviously, since we were last on, because Wahlberg was obviously the pain in the bollocks. Have you where have you to travel to typically? Like, is it a hotel in London or
So the hotel in London. So I went over to do ones for Infinity War for Avengers. Right. So I met the Russo brothers, the directors, and I met Benedict Cumberbatch.
What was Cumberbatch like?
Cumberbatch was the first one I'd done at one of those junket ones in, like, the fancy 6-star hotels. Yeah. So they bring you into a room. So initially you go into this room. There's about 15 other journalists kind of milling about, and they've got, like, the toys from the film and stuff like that there. And there's a PR person will come in and, they'll call your name, they'll take you out. So while I'm sitting there, the PR girl comes in and calls one of the girls. Like, where's, let's say Stacey was her name. She's like, where's Stacey? Here, did you start playing a card game with them in there? And she was like, what? She goes, you don't start playing your games trying to get your viral moment. You run this by me before you do anything. Okay, you try and embarrass them in front of you, put them in an awkward position. You're putting me in an awkward position. I'll put you in an awkward position. I was like, oh my gosh. She goes, anything like that again?
Who was Stacey? Was she
Stacey was a journalist.
Oh.
She's like, you run this by me first. And I was like, oh, what the fuck? Next thing I was Andrew McCarroll. I was like, oh Jesus. Benedict is ready for you there. And I was like, this is my first time going in. The last thing I wanted was that in the back of my head going in. So I walk into the room. And it's like a normal hotel room, but they've got 3 people. There's a cameraman, a sound man, a rep from the studio, a publicist behind him. So there's a camera facing me, there's a mic facing me, and there's 2 people, and there's him sitting in the chair. It's like a little video village.
Yeah.
So you have to duck in to go into him, and then behind me it's the same. So you've got the camera facing him, the mic facing him.
So like little confessional nearly. Like,
yeah, pretty much. So the room is. It's like fairly small because they've got it all boxed out because they need the sound, they need the lighting done right. So you have to kind of duck in, and like I'm 6'3", so I go in. I was like, grand, trying not to hit off anything. Grand, I was like, nice to meet you. It's my first one doing it, you know, be gentle. And he's just like, and I was like, oh shit.
Oh no.
And he's like, I was like, you okay? And he's like, yeah. He goes, I was in Australia. I'm in Japan. He said, now I have to go from here to LA. Like you could see him. He was just like,
he was fucked.
Oh, he was fucked. So as Graham yapped away, I was like, don't bring up Sherlock, don't do that. You know, just don't try and avoid all the obvious questions.
Yeah.
So I asked him about, like, what kind of films we like. So he's like, horror, I'd love to do a horror film. I was like, oh, what kind of horror films do you like? Who would you be interested in working in? I say that and my agent gets called, so I'm just going to keep that one to myself. Right. Like, all right, nice one, yeah. Jesus. But in fairness, now, he was grand. He was a bit of crack. He was yapping away. So grand thing finished. I completely forgot my surroundings. Stood straight up, took the microphone clean off, and it just like fell on the ground in front of us. And then there was that awkward thing where I went to pick it up and he went to pick it up. Then we both stopped. Then we both went back down, and then we both done it again. I was like, oh, this is a fucking disaster. Like, walked out, and I was like, oh god. So I went back to the room. So I had to wait for to get called back then for the other interview with
Did you wear in your special Doctor Strange ring? No, you didn't. Just because you have one, don't you?
I have more than one. So yeah, just that, like, just little stupid shit like that. I keep doing stuff like that. Like,
definitely would do that. Oh, for sure. I would. If that was me, for sure, I would have knocked over the whole fucking place, just being the clumsy bollocks like inside there. But I suppose and you have to be. As you said, you have to try and find original stuff too. Did you know they haven't been fucking asked a million times?
Because you watch that and you watch the clips, and it's always like, oh, what attracted you to the script? Why did you do this film? It's like, oh, just like, if you want to know the answer to that, you can Google the 50 other fucking interviews that they've done for that. Like, you want to ask them something they're kind of interested in and they'll bite on. Like the lads, the Russo brothers, the guys, the directors, they're kind of involved in, you know, like Google Glass and next stage technology. You know, like, he was telling me about this. So he goes, let's say you're watching a film and you're mad into cats. It's weird that he said cats the other week. He goes, you'll put on this, the room's full of cats, and to you, that's kind of going to be altered to your perception. And you're, you know, like this was before the Bandersnatch thing, the Netflix, the choose your own story. He goes, that's going to be a huge part of cinema. And I was like, I don't like that. And he's like, what? And I was like, now these lads have invested like 50, 60 million quid into this. I don't like that. And he's like, why? He's like, well, if I go and see a film that you made, or Martin Scorsese made, or Tarantino, I was like, I trust you're better storytellers than me. That's why I want to go and see that. So me and the two of them are having like kind of back and forth on this, like, oh, very cordial. Like, it wasn't you know, I think your idea is shit. Like, so as we're doing that, like, the publicist is like, no, we have to wrap that up here. And he turns around and he says, well, actually, he goes, to be honest, I'm really enjoying this conversation. He goes, do you mind if we just keep going for another little while? And I was like, no, absolutely not. No, that's how I was like, publicist, shut the fuck up. But like, that was like, I like getting that little moment that he kind of appreciated. Look, you've put a bit of work and effort into doing this.
That's class.
We're actually having a conversation about something that's not like, oh, tell me about this, or tell me what's it like working with this guy.
And how do you end up getting the footage from that then? Or do you?
Yeah, so they give me, like, they do they have the SD cards and the camera, so they give you the cards and you kind of edit it yourself. So they're in charge, essentially. Like, this is why I was so kind of confused when that Liam Neeson thing came out. Because remember when Liam Neeson was like, did you hear this, the interview? No. Liam Neeson was given an interview. How have you not heard about this?
Oh shit, sorry. Yeah. Oh my God, Liam. Yeah, that was a moment. How the fuck?
I was like, how did... Because they have to give you the card. Like, you go out of the room and then they give you the card with the video footage and the audio. It's separate, and then you edit it together yourself. Now, I'd imagine the whole reason they do that is so in case you say something like you're running around London with a kosh trying to kill the next black blasters you see, like maybe I won't give them the footage of that. Like we'll do that again. We'll take 2 on that one, Liam.
Yeah,
like I couldn't believe that got out.
Yeah, but people forget too. Like Liam is dying to hear for years, and I know he's still playing next year. Liam's an outlet. Like outlets come out with mad shit all the time. Like.
Yeah,
like he must be pushing on for fucking mid-60s. Do you know what I mean?
But you've like something like, especially with that, like when I was taking like describing the scenario of interviewing Benedict Cumberbatch, where you've got people in the room. Like the second he would have, like if one of them, like Cumberbatch had to start saying something like that, there's 4 people in the room there ready to jump. Maybe because it's Disney and it's Marvel, like it's such a a moral bastion now. Apparently, like someone would have jumped and went, "Shut the fuck up! Don't open your mouth about this. Cut that. Take that out."
Like, yeah. Because I remember it was somebody like you or Jeremy McBride So I'm just going to pop out for a second, says...
That was me.
Was it you? Like, and it was like...
I'll be crediting Jerry McBride at my jokes. He's good enough himself.
But he comes out with shit like that. Like, but it was perfect. It was like, what the fuck is Liam? Liam, what are you doing, you mad bastard? Mm-hmm. Again, another fella playing the same character in every movie, pretty much. Yeah. Like, but you've got a good thing going, Liam. Shut the fuck up, like.
Because he ruined that with like he made Taken, which was supposed to be this like straight to video action film, and all of a sudden he's got 3 Taken films, and then he's got Stop Loss and Unknown, and all these films that nobody has seen but are making money. Like, again, I reverse engineer all those situations. So I was just picturing the publicist going, look, he's doing this fucking 30 years. I'm just going to pop out for, grab myself an Al Costa coffee or something. And then as she walks back in, he's like, so I've got this kosh and I'm chasing this blind. She's like, what the fuck are you doing? I just imagine it like that. The scene in Community where Donald Glover goes down to pick up the pizzas, and when he walks back in, the entire room is on fire. He's like, what the fuck happened while I was gone?
But you wondered then, was it only after the fact that they found out? Because somebody must have stood out of the room. No,
because apparently the journalist that interviewed him, she said at the end, she's like, I don't think this is going to play well.
What?
She actually said it. She's like, I don't think this will play well. I don't know if are you okay with this getting out?
It's the least journalistic thing I've ever heard in my life. Like.
And he's like, yep, no, that's, I said it, it's grand. Yep, don't worry about that. But I said it, I meant it, I'm here to represent it. And it's like, off you went. And like, to be fair to him, like when he was doing like the apology tour he went on, like at no point did he say, oh look, I said this, I'm sorry. Like he was just like, no, I said it, it's wrong. I did mean it at the time. I'm not going to change what I said.
Yeah.
But maybe if this opens a conversation about this and that and blah, 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 that's fair enough, because I'm not going to pretend like, oh, she caught me unawares. He goes, no, I said it, I meant it. Like that's a thing that happened and I'm not proud of it.
Cool on his behalf then, like, because only if a handful of people could get away with it, like, because he's so stoic when he does speak anyway.
Yeah.
You'd kind of go, oh, okay, he doesn't fuck around, like.
It's Oscar Schindler, like, you're taking him at his word here.
Yeah. And where, like, typically then, because I mean, this is kind of, since the first time we talked, you'd kind of explained how you'd gotten into the whole movie side of things and all the rest of it, and this is kind of dream scenario stuff, really. You've gone from, you ended up doing exactly what you wanted to do.
Yeah, this is what we think. We ended on the last one. I was like, oh, I'd love to do like the interviewers of the TV show. I'm doing like the Lisa Cannon show, Box Office. I'm like a regular on that as well. And I've got my own little side YouTube thing with that, and I've got Andy McCarroll movies on YouTube as well. But again, it's like stand up, like doing those interviews. It's one of those that everyone who watches it thinks that's easy. I could do that.
Yeah.
Like the mark of somebody who's good at it, and not to kind of blow me out to that, is you watch that person, you think, oh, I could do that. Yeah. Like I think Graham Norton is fantastic at what he does. Like the stories he gets out,
and to be able to control 4 or 5 big egos all at the one time without stepping on their toes.
And you'd watch them and go, I could sit there and drink wine with fucking Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen. It's like, watch what he's doing. Like that would go off the rails so quickly. Like the way he coaxes the little stories out that you wouldn't get anywhere else. Like that's a skill to do. Like, and don't think for a second he hasn't ran through every scenario of what answer they're going to give beforehand. Like. And again, it's same with stand-up. I could get up and do that. And I'm sure, you've been heckled yourself. And you're like, take the mic, get up here and do it and see how fucking hard it is.
I suppose, as you said, the sign of what, like, people who have no idea what they're talking about, they say things to me like, do you remind me of just that gas fella down the pub? And you're like, do I?
Yeah.
Did you listen to any... Well, do you know what? It's a good thing that's, if you can't spot any of the craft that went into creating that, the happiness of that fella down the pub, you took that from it. Yeah. And that's what you'll get. Like, but you take the fella from the pub and you go, right, you get up there, you have exactly 25 minutes. Don't come under, don't go over. Get it done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It'll never happen,
No.
like, you know. But it's the same fucking thing. But it is brilliant that it's come around. And I saw you were on Instagram yesterday, you were scrolling through, and you were slagging off a bunch of my guests. Well, you really only slagged off Mike Sheridan, like.
Yeah, well, that's it. He just looks like he's got the enthusiasm. It's like if a Labrador became sentient, like.
Yeah, but everybody likes Labradors. That's
Exactly. Everyone likes like find someone who has a bad word to say give Mike, like.
Yeah, but he sheds just like a Labrador as well, like, so I mean, Jesus Christ, the mics were ruined the last day.
Actually, he's doing MMA and he looks quite shredded now, so I'll probably keep my mouth shut about it.
Mike is, I'm just saying it here, is full of steroids right now. He's so full of steroids. He'll probably have the roid rage at the minute, like it's probably kicking in and all the rest of it, but and you
like for 24 years old, like he looks terrible.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? He's really beaten up, yeah. For a 24-year-old woman, I mean, he looks really bad.
Oh, he's going to beat the shit out of me.
Tis all right. We'll get Will Fleury after. It's grand. It's grand.
It's just, I was going through that, like, Jesus Christ. Will Fleury, Spike O'Sullivan, Richard Kiley. I was like, I know I made the joke, like, hard as nails cunts, the podcast.
I know. I'm just living vicariously through their toughness, really. That's all it is. Yeah, with Will on. Will's the most intense man ever. Like, he's from up the road from me at home. Like, he's just intensity times 1,000. Like, you know.
I interviewed him before his last fight as well. And again, it's like that where he's just... And Richard Kiley has that as well, where like you're yapping away at them, and then as soon as you turn on the camera and do the interview, it's like shark eyes.
Yeah.
It's like you're like I was having the crack with Will, and the second we just started interviewing, he's like, "I am a raw bastard. I will fucking kill this man." And they're like, "Oh god, like what happened to the happy-go-lucky guy who was there a second ago?"
But
like,
it's so, and like Will gets so deep as well.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I think Richard is on for next week because he was saying he was going to allow the news of Michael Venom Page to come out first, and then he's coming on or whatever. So
jeez, that's some fight for him.
Fair fucks him.
Oh, he just, again, somebody who just willed that into existence.
Yeah, willed it into existence, like, because Venom Page is a huge name, like.
Like, that Venom Page, he's like 750,000 Instagram followers, and he's like, you know, he's world famous fighter, like, you know, he's every highlight reel KO. And Richie's, 3-1?
Yeah.
Coming out, he's like, 34 now at the moment?
Yeah.
Coming off the back of a big injury, and he's like, after pulling, like, just by berating this lad, he's got his attention. He's got, like, you know, the biggest fight in Irish history.
But a very smart chap, like, to go after him the way he went after him, like, creating, like, memes, creating fucking little sketches and everything. Because he's Venom Page. And, like, anybody who has no idea, just look for Venom Page. Oh, my Jesus, he is. He is good.
Yeah.
But he started like doing voiceovers going, I'm a snake, I'm a snake. It was just fun. It's like, I thought there's no way Venom Page is going to pick up. But he fucking did. He got sour about it. Yeah. He probably figured, hey, do you want a headline spot in Dublin? Grand. Lovely job.
Like, I didn't think he got, I just thought, and especially with like the company protecting him as much. Like if he comes over here, like imagine Richie knocks him out.
Oh my God.
Like Richie all of a sudden is like one of the biggest names in the sport, and you've taken his shine off him. Like
it could happen. They're both two very good kickboxers, like, so it could fucking happen. You'd never know.
Oh, I'm going to be like a proud parent there. Like
I
can't sit anywhere near the front, 'cause you'll just hear me on the camera like screaming for Richie. Like.
Sitting near the front though is a fucking dose at Dublin MMA's events. Like I've been at one or two of them, and it seems to be. Oh, are we all doing cocaine? Oh, we're all doing the cocaine. Oh, great, that's fantastic. I was there. I remember I was at one. It was the one where McGregor ran in and jumped in over the fucking cage. Remember that one? And Richard, he fucked up his knee or whatever. But it was I had obviously given me a ticket that was quite close to the cage, and I lasted all of about 4 minutes. And it was only by the luck of God, two chaps I was good mates with, like, were happened to be sitting up.
And the gods.
I had to go up and sit with them because these dickheads of both men and women, it was like, you people are not even the same species as me. Like, they were so full of asshole right now. Like,
no socks, I imagine.
Oh no, zero socks.
Loads of waistcoats.
Loads of tan. Like loads of fucking waistcoats. There was a lot of teeth that they looked like. What would be the description? Fucking the pearls just don't, like, teeth. Everybody's teeth were bought in Turkey. Like, you know what I mean? They were all like, you're all hideous versions of humans. Like, what are you all doing? Like, screaming at each other back and forth while the fights are going on. It was just, and every guy thought they were McGregor walking in.
Oh, the shit.
Oh, the walk.
Fucking walk. And there's none of, like you meet lads like Will Fleury, you meet lads like Richard Kiley. They don't act like that because they don't have to. They walk into a room like, I'm the hardest guy in this room. I've nothing to prove here. Yes. I don't need to peacock. Like, it's like, put it up to me and you'll see quick enough what happens.
Will said it. He goes, you don't have to wear fucking glasses and a retarded shirt to walk around thinking you're a fucking gangster. He says, fuck everybody that does that. And What are you going to do? Even if you are McGregor, you're not going to turn around to Flory and go, hey, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Because Flory is such a psychopath. He could fucking bite your head off.
He does. He's Sheamus. He's Sheamus from fucking WWE. He just
He
looks
is,
like that. Like.
But he was a double hard bastard playing rugby even back in the day. Like, all his brothers are double hard bastards from playing rugby. Like, so I mean, even before he learned how to fight, he could have like that scar on the middle of his eye was a back stud.
Yeah.
And yeah, just played on the fucking game. Like, a vet stitched him.
He's one of those people that, like, if this was a couple of 100 years ago, he'd be on a horse, like, boarding your village to the fucking ground.
For sure, he's definitely a descendant. Like, you know what I mean? You can see it. He reminds me of. Do you remember in 300?
Yeah.
Do you remember the Immortals came and they had that fucking thing? They had that big monster chained.
Yeah.
And he's actually like a Russian. He was in wrestling. That guy, the guy who played that.
What's his fucking name?
He had a Russian name, didn't he? Like Voldov or something like that.
Vladimir Koloslov.
Yeah. Well done. No. Wow, that is brilliant.
Couldn't tell you what I'd done this morning now, but I can remember Vladimir Koloslov from the wrestling.
And Will reminds me of that guy. He just has that fury where he should do that someday. Like, get a couple of people to actually, those dog collar poles to his neck, like, and walk him to the ring.
Yeah. You suggest that to him.
Do you know what? Why not go full WWE?
Well,
do you know what? You'll go viral on YouTube as the best fucking walk in to an MMA. I don't know, maybe there's some sanctions where you're not allowed to walk in with a bunch of
talk. I don't know, like if you had to see him coming in on flying carpets, so I think anything's for going.
Oh, fuck, do you remember that? He'd want to be a fair carpet to carry fucking Nazim these days.
Oh, you had fucking, what was it, Caveman and Owen Roddy coming into that Mayweather fight dressed like they were working in bleeding Temple Bar, cocktail bar with their fucking waistcoats and everything.
What was that about?
I thought, like, who came up with the idea for that? They just looked like they were making them like a Tom Collins in between rounds or something.
You do have to wonder sometimes. I remember going to it was boxing. Luke Keeler, I think, was headlining it, and it was over in the National Arena. They're up in Dublin 8, and it was just the strangest thing. Like, they all had the same methodology. For the fighters who came out second, they were making the fighter in the ring wait for the entire song, and then maybe wait again. And the song, they were all trying to play the same psychological trick, and it wasn't really working. It was like, lads, if you're going to play a psychological trick, have a bit of thinking about it.
Don't do the same one that everyone else has done.
Come to me. We'll come up with something. This is what I do. We come up with something. You do the
dog
fighting.
collars.
Do you know what I mean? Let's just get this. I think it'd be just amazing to have 3 or 4 fellas just like that, like something out of 300, and have everybody with the. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why not go fucking dark and real creepy like? But I think Flory's is after landing somebody big as well.
What's his goddamn name now? Not Malone. I know. I can see the poster now, but I can't remember his name.
He's after landing a decent name as well. Well, he deserves it. In fairness, he was very dominant.
I don't know if that's been signed, but he's been
berating him on fucking Twitter.
Not Leon Roberts. What's his bleeding name? It's gone. Yeah, but that's the one they're trying. Fabian Edwards. That's who it is.
Yeah.
It's like they're going back and forth. And again, if he gets that, that's another big fight for him.
Great
and then,
name.
like he had his debut there in America a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, in Oklahoma.
Jeez, he bet the shite out of your
bet
man.
the
Like,
bollocks out your man.
and he was like an underdog in that fight. Like
he was, yeah. He'd no business. But in fairness, it was after his loss from 2 fights ago. It completely reset his brain.
Yeah.
Because even I think your man was surprised he got the punch in on Flory that time. He was the dominant fucking specimen, but your man still got him with a punch, rattled him, and I think that has absolutely reset the system since then. He's like, oh fuck this, I can't take any second for granted. Like, and in fairness, he'd be the sort of fella that wouldn't leave a stone unturned. Like, you know. No,
you see, like I've seen him down in like SPG. He's just one of those, like, he will go and go and go. Like, he just, you know, those people just doesn't get tired. He just has like a gas tank for days.
Yeah.
You know, he's the kind of fella that, like, if you got into a fight with him outside, you're like, oh fuck, like I should have packed a lunch. Like, this is gonna take a while. Like,
yeah, he'd be, but genetically too, them fellas like he would come from his country stock as well as then playing rugby from a very early age. So you're playing man level fucking high contact sports from a very early age, and playing in the forwards as well at a high level. He played at a decent level too. So like that, it's not picking up, you know, pain. He doesn't have the same
pain receptors.
No. Like, he has to be a second row forward. You're going to have 80 minutes of full throttle in you. 80 minutes is a fucking long time. Like, you know what I mean? Especially when you're pushing and you're clattering lads, you're getting kicked in the face.
But I like lads like that because you look at him and you think, all right, grand, don't fuck with this lad.
Yeah.
It's the little shits like Gallagher who, like, you know, if he pushed off you in a pub, you'd be like, you'd get into a fight with him.
What's the deal with that fella? Is he just out of his mind? Like, do tattooed his chest just like McGregor. He does his hair and says things like McGregor. What's going on?
He is the biggest probably since Conor that I've met. Like, I was in Vegas for the Aldo McGregor fight.
Were you?
And he was going around, like, he would have been, 17 at the time, 18? And he's going around in the suit with the sunglasses with a replica UFC belt. And I was like, look at this guy acting like a bleeding twat. And then a year or two later, I was training.
What was he doing with the UFC belt?
Again, I think this is part of, like, you know, the visualization thing that Conor was talking about. He was like, I'll do this.
God.
But then about 2 years later, I was training down in SBG, and he was one of the coaches. And he is the nicest guy in the world. Like, he just... Like, there was no airs or graces. It wasn't like he was fighting in Bellator and all at this point. And there wasn't, like, you know, him being like, oh, I'm a Bellator fighter and I'm treating this, like, you know, chubby lad how to, like, throw a punch. Like,
right.
He was like, no, here's what you do. No, don't do this again. Like, he was really patient. He stayed after the class, which he'd give you stuff to work on. Like, you'd see him in there, he'd ask you how your training is going. And then you see him on the... like, I know he has to make a persona to sell it. That's why people... You know, when he got knocked out, everyone loved it when he got knocked out.
But I get it, but why do exactly... Like, why mimic McGregor?
Because he was 15 when that all started. Now, imagine when you were 15 years old and all of a sudden, you know, your mate starts getting all this. You're going to say, well, I want that. I need to do that the exact same way. Like, people... Like, he's 22, 23 now. Like, if I had that level of fame at 22, 23 after, like, following my mate who'd done the same thing... It would affect you in a way, and it's kind of admirable that he is as grounded as he is. I know he's kind of stuck now that he's made this.
To be honest, I've only really paid attention to him in the last 6 months, and my brain is kind of going, but how do you rock up to the same gym as your man that you're mimicking? I like the level of, I suppose, tunnel vision that takes is somebody who can go on to, like, Love Island and suck everybody's dick live on air just to get famous. Do you know, that's still... I was looking at it going, I can't... You went and got the same fucking
Again,
tattoo.
That's one of those things I would have loved to have seen. The day of training when he walked in and all of a sudden Conor looks over and sees he's got the same tattoo. You'd be kind of thinking, fuck, is he going to start wearing my skin or something when I come here? Like, is he going to be single white female me this by the end of the night? Like,
yeah, like, I mean, you know, he's got it. You know, he's walking around with his Gucci bags and all the rest of it. But and you were... so we were just talking. Will you be on the mend back in because you have you've one more visit to the surgeon. You're back popping and all the rest of it. So
yeah, I need to defend my my Irish national title.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That I won by default.
How did you win it by default?
I went to the Irish Open.
This was BJJ, was it?
Thai boxing.
Right.
So I went into the Irish Open, the Irish Open Thai boxing. So went down. I was in the heavyweight class, so I was like, "Gran, you have to do the weigh-ins." So for some reason, I ended up weighing in with all the middleweights.
Right.
So I'm standing there with these lads who've been, like, you know, draining themselves of water with fucking 8 packs, and there's me with the belly getting up, stripped off, got on the scales, and the guy's looking and goes, "Are you fighting heavyweight?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, you don't need to strip off." It's like, once it's over 200 pounds, like, you're grand. I was like, could have told me that before I took. And I wouldn't mind, there's all like the ring card girls, there's all them around and standing. I was like, could have told me that before I took the top off, mate. Nice one, yeah.
As you're sucking it in, like, yeah.
And they go down, like, I had it in my head, it was like, you know, the Karate Kid. You would have, like, you know, LaRusso versus Cobra Kai at this time. So you go down and they've got the ring set up and they're like, okay, we'll give you a shout about 30 minutes before your fight. And I was like, when's that? He's like, yeah, 30 minutes before the fight. I was like, when is it? Like, this is like 11 o'clock in the morning. He's like, oh, it could be like, you know, an hour, it could be 2 hours. So you're sitting around with this, like, nervous energy. I had about 15 shites.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So that eventually he goes, all right, 30 minutes, McCarroll, warm up. I was like, grand. So do that. Then we warm up, walking in. As I'm walking into the ring, the ref stops me. And he's like, hang on a second. I was like, why? He goes, the other guy's not here. I was like, what do you mean he's not here? Where is he? He's like, hasn't showed up. So I'm like standing here, like bouncing, ready to go. And I was like,
I've taken so many shits for this moment.
Yeah, that's it. I think I could have made middleweight by the time I was done that. So he goes, all right, hang on. So comes over and goes, look, the guy isn't here. So what we're going to do is the two lads who are fighting now, you're going to fight the winner in the final. I was like, all right, grand. So I sat there, watched them fight, sitting around for another like 2 hours waiting, just like back and forth. He goes, okay, you're up next. So you're up next, grand, go up. As we're walking in, ref stops me again. I was like, what? He goes, he doesn't want to fight.
What?
I was like, what do you mean he doesn't want to fight? So he's over on the other side of the ring with the coaches. So I'm like, I'll make him fight. So I start shouting at him like I'm fucking Clubber Lang and Rocky Tree going, wait a minute. I was like, yeah, you're proud of yourself. Where'd you think you were? You were at a tournament. He said, where'd you think you were going to go? What do you think was going to happen? Get in there. So all of a sudden my coach just appears beside me. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? And I was like, he said he won't fight. He goes, then he won't fight. And that just completely took the air. He goes, so what? I was like, oh. He's like, could be worse. Could be this lad. And he points at the ring behind me. And there's a guy getting oxygen, like KO'd on the floor of the ring. He's like, just relax yourself. It's grand. There'll be another one. I was like, oh, okay. So luckily one of the guys who was there from SBG, he said, look, I know I've had people drop out. I'll jump in the ring with you. We'll do like a glorified sparring session.
Yeah.
He goes, we won't go hard on each other, obviously, because he's fucking 26-5 or something like that.
Yeah,
he kicked the shit out of me. It's like, all right, thanks, appreciate that. Jumped in. So I jumped into the ring with him. And as I'm walking up the steps to get in, I notice, oh, there's like a couple of hundred people watching this. So then my heart is like thumping out. The adrenaline is going like 90. So he comes out and he's like, the big smile on his face. He's after like borrowing gear and all. So I'm like, oh, thanks. It's like tush gloves going. And next thing I just leathered him with like the hardest punch I've ever thrown in my life. And he backs up and I was like, oh. So then I'm opening my arms and go, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. And he's like, no, it's okay, relax, just calm down. Just calm down.
This is the most timid fight story I've ever heard in my life.
Like it started off with like I punched him and I was like, oh shit. Like, so it's just like everyone was watching. I was just overwhelmed by the whole thing. Then Graham, we done the 3 rounds. I was like, thanks, Graham. So your man goes to me at the end and goes, oh yeah, do you want the medal? I was like, well, I didn't earn anything. He's like, oh, do you want to go up on the podium? He's like, I'm not standing on a podium on my own with no one in second and third.
Participation medal, basically.
And he's like standing there with like the gold and then he goes, do you want it? And I was like, well, kind of, yeah. And I was like, well, give me that. I was like, yeah, let's throw that up on Instagram. People will think I'm better than I am.
Brilliant. But you had an injury training, but you're back. When is it this weekend you're going in for surgery?
Yeah, going in on Sunday, and I keep saying checking in like I'm going into a luxury. I'm checking in, and the spa session will be on the Monday when they lacerate my spine. Yeah, I'll be getting a discoscopy, so they'll be paring back the disc, and then the nerve is tangled around my pelvis, so they're going to be unwinding that. So that sounds lovely.
Fucking delicious.
So
how long is recovery from that, do you reckon?
8 to 12 months.
8 to 12 months?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
So it'll be 6 weeks before I can even do anything. I had it done twice in the last couple of years, and it's like 6 weeks, you can't do anything. So you're just kind of, I'll be walking up and down the drive-in for a few weeks trying to keep myself sane.
Christ above, so there's going to be a lot of movie reviewing going on.
Yeah, a lot of morphine-induced movie reviews.
Oh, great. So you'll just be drunk out of your fucking stone, basically, out of your tits.
It probably will. Like, there was one, I think like a year or two, I seen, Escape Plan, the Stallone.
There's another one coming out, isn't there?
Oh, this is the third one.
But this one, Stallone reckons it'll be good. Because the last one was, Stallone was in it for about 3 minutes as the boss man. And then if the whole movie went to fucking shite.
Yeah. But I like live tweeted all that off my face on morphine. And then read it back and I was like, what the fuck was it? I was like 50 Cent's wearing glasses. He thinks he's funny. Or he's supposed to be intelligent now because he has this. I was covering Bellator in New York. That's what I was over there for. I was doing the Chael Sonnen Machida fight. And so I was up in press row. Again, I'm dropping names left and right here.
Oh,
and I was standing up to get back around. So we're like literally right next to the cage.
Yeah.
And 50 Cent is like one of the co-owners in Bellator.
Is he?
Yeah. So I walked around, and as I walk up, I walk straight into him. Was he
wearing glasses?
Bump into him. No. But he's a big fucking dude. Like.
Is he?
So as I'm like, you turn around, you bump into somebody, and you recognize them. You're like, but you don't think, I don't actually know this person.
Yeah,
so I was like, 50. Yeah. Slapped him on the arm, and I was like, and then I noticed he's got 6 lads around him who are
massive.
Yeah. Like just the entourage is with him. And they're all kind of, next thing they're getting their back up when they see me. So next thing I shake his hand, I was like, 50, good to see you again, man. And he's like, yeah, no doubt. And they walk off. And as he's walking off, I see him looking back on, who the fuck was that?
Who's that white fucker?
Like I'd say he got into the back and he's like, I don't know him at all. Do I get out there and drag him? Again, a part of this like awkward thing where I run in celebrities and make a fucking show.
I would know what to do if I turned around and just banged into fucking 50. I'd probably smack him across the arse like fucking Colin Farrell did to you, like.
Pretty much. The worst I'd done was I offered Richard Dreyfuss a hand job.
Do you know what? If there was ever a man I was give a hand job to, it'd probably be after Weekend. Was it Weekend of Bernie's?
Jaws.
No, sorry, not Weekend of Bernie's. What was the one?
Another stakeout.
No, the one I fucking loved him where he absolutely snapped. It was
Bob. What about Bob?
Yes. What about Bob?
Bill Murray. Apparently, fucking Bill Murray's an absolute asshole to him on that.
Was he?
Hated each other.
Really?
He's like, yeah, he's just a bullying fucker. He was
a bully to Dreyfuss.
To Dreyfuss, yeah.
Deserves a hand job then if that's the case after that. Anyway, Andy McCarroll. Give everybody the exact where to find you.
Yeah, We Love Movies on Spin 103.8 every Sundays at 12.
Yeah.
Or Andy McCarroll Movies on Facebook and YouTube.
And YouTube.
Yep.
Brilliant stuff. So you do proper. This is you're following your dream. So you didn't have to get a tattoo on your chest or anything.
No.
You visualized it. You saw it. Podcast probably had a lot to do with it.
I know what you're thinking. I want a scene dissection of LA Confidential just as the Kevin Spacey fucking saga is coming out. I was like, really wasted like a month of my life making this, and then Kevin Spacey starts touching up kids and ruins the whole goddamn thing.
Just pedo references throughout the whole thing. No,
that's pretty much what it turned into by the end. I just replaced him with Christopher Plummer for the video.
Thanks a million, dude. That's been brilliant.
Cheers, pleasure.
Cheers. Tom. And my thanks again to Andy. Fair play. Like I said, all his links will be in the show notes down the bottom, from his Facebook page to his YouTube page and to his website and all the rest of it. Give it a gander. As you can see, it's well worth the fucking go. Right, thank you very, very much. Don't forget to share and rate and tell everybody about it. Rate, subscribe and share. Those are the 3 things I need out of you. Do it for me and we'll be forever friends. Right, go on away. Enjoy the rest of the weekend and I'll talk to you again on Tuesday.